Hey, what's up guys? John here. I'm going to share with you the future of the housing market, what it's actually going to look like with verifiable facts, so you can prepare and plan for yourself and your family. Maybe you want to invest in real estate, maybe you're a homeowner right now, you're curious what's going to happen. I'm going to lay it out for you because it's absolutely unbelievable. So we all have seen a lot of the last few years, right? With these record low interest rates, people are relocating from expensive areas, New York City and Los Angeles and other areas that were relatively expensive, but the restrictions, regulations, high taxes, crime pushed people to other locations that were a little bit more safe and favorable for their families, right? So people are just relocating and getting the benefits, no income tax and other things like that, right? People are they were making a conscious decision. But while that was happening with these record low interest rates, home prices were going through the roof as there was thousands and thousands of people looking in every single market and willing to overpay $50,000, $100,000, paying all cash, waiving inspection contingencies, appraisal contingencies. People just wanted to get in. And so because of that, what we've seen was just astronomical home pricing. It was absolutely crazy. But now things are going through a really big shift, a really big change. And this change is unbelievable. I'm going to lay it out for you right now. So hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube's going to share this content to educate more people about what's really going on in the housing market. And also, if you want to invest in distressed real estate, go to greatcreditfast.com. Greatcreditfast.com to fix your credit so you can position yourself to where you can take advantage of what I believe is going to be the best investing opportunity of our lifetime. Go to greatcreditfast.com and schedule a free call. So take a look at this. So for context, mortgage rates right now, if you have the average credit score in America, 8.154%, absolutely insane. 8.154%, considering the fact that we were in the threes about 15, 16 months ago for that same borrower. If you have perfect credit, 850 credit score, you're still over 7, right? So the average credit score, let's say you're slightly above average at 7%, or 700 credit score to 719 credit score, you're 7.5%, right? 7.5%. So the average home price in America is $429,000. So at 7.5% mortgage, you're looking at $3,384 per month, right? That's a big, big number, considering the fact that you probably have to make $11,000 a month to be able to afford that. So basically $120,000, $130,000 a year, depending on what other debt and obligations you have. You have a big car payment, if you have student loans, you have these other obligations, you might have to make more, right? So that same situation with a 3% mortgage is $2,200 a month. Huge difference, right? About 35% more per month. That takes a lot of people out of the game to be able to buy that property. And so what do we have? We have a situation where a lot of people are upside down on their mortgages. And so people, they bought these properties. The average down payment for a first-time home buyer was 6%, and the average down payment for a second home was 13%. So on average, call it 10% as the average down payment. But the cost to sell these properties, about 8%. 5% for realtors, and then you have transfer taxes, closing fees, things like that. So you're looking somewhere between 8-9%, right? So a lot of people are underwater on these properties, and that's not even taking into consideration that mortgage rates more than doubled. And so when you have a situation where we're looking at what's going on with the mortgage market, and then we look at what's happening with the job market. So far this year, we've lost 201,000 jobs across 740 tech companies, right? In 2022, it was 164,000. So basically, so far, the first 6 months of the year, we've lost 20% more jobs than all of last year. And so what are we starting to see here? We're seeing a situation, a dynamic, where a lot of really expensive locations, New York and Los Angeles and San Francisco, where they were producing high-income earners that relocated, saying, hey, I can work from home, I can work remote. I can go buy that $700,000, $800,000 home. It'll actually be better for me because I'll pay no income tax and I get all these benefits and eventually I own the home. But now what's happening is these very tech companies are issuing these layoffs and they're asking themselves, how can we save money? Well, one way is going to be reducing their office square footage. The second is going to be hiring talent remote, maybe South America, maybe in India and other locations, hire remote work. Not all, but they're going to hire a lot more remote jobs. They're going to start bringing in artificial intelligence and robotics and technology eventually. But what are they ultimately going to be doing? They're going to take America from being the land of opportunity to where it's just another country, right? So you have all these high income earners that were dependent on these jobs for these mortgages. Now mortgage rates doubled, they're upside down their properties, and a lot of people are going to start losing their jobs, What happens next? Well, the noose around these property owners is going to get tighter. Electricity prices surged 14.3% in 2022, double inflation. So you have increase in electricity costs. Allstate no longer offering insurance policies in California. State Farm no longer offering insurance policies in California, right? And Florida, they're talking about property owners are bracing for a 40% increase, right? Well, FEMA put this map out saying this is where property insurance rates are going to start to really climb. So, basically everywhere that people would want to live, all along the coast, all throughout Florida, Naples, Tampa, St. Pete, Miami, Delray Beach. All along the coast, right? Even places like Philly, where Philly was, sure, there was floods and there were problems before, but never to this extent. Like they never really had these issues. This was last year. This is a freeway sign. This is right in Center City, Philly. You look at how bad that situation was in Philly, but it wasn't just Philly. Remember New York? People were on rafts and on little canoes going down major streets in the city because of the floods. So what are we going to start to see? We're going to see so many insurance companies pull out of markets, and as that happens, there's going to be less available insurance policies to be written, meaning the price is going to continue to rise. So if you have a situation where people are upside down on their properties, meaning they owe more on their property than it's actually worth, they have a job market that is getting hit heavily, insurance is going to continue to rise, and utility bills are going to continue to rise. You're going to have one of the greatest wealth transfers in the housing market that we've ever seen before. And that's why if you look at a lot of private equity companies, what are they doing? They're raising money now. They're raising capital because they know that the average American is in big, big trouble. And what do they do when the average American is in big trouble? They sit on the sidelines with a mountain of cash and they get ready to pounce, because this is what's going to happen. We start to see how this whole thing plays out. They said, for example, in California, that State Farm Insurance Company on Friday announced that it will stop accepting new homeowner insurance applications, citing rapid growing catastrophe risk like wildfires, historic increases in construction costs, and a challenging reinsurance market. You think about this. So when they say that historic increases in construction costs, when we look at what's going on right now with inflation, think about how insurance companies make money. Insurance companies make money by charging you a policy rate. You pay this rate, they hope they never have to pay it out. And they do this enough to where they have hundreds of thousands of policies and they can control their costs. Obviously insurance is an extremely profitable business, but when they have a situation where their costs are rising, labor costs going up, lawsuits are going to start to increase. Look at Florida, there's so many different fraud lawsuits and things happening here. When they have a situation where their costs are going to continue to rise, and they're going to just spread out these losses to other consumers. Look at the Fort Myers situation. Look at Fort Lauderdale, the flood that just occurred. Look at Miami, that building collapsed. I think they had to pay over $1 billion in just claims. All of these situations, you're going to start to see these insurance companies roll up, and they're going to start getting acquired. They're going to start going out of business. They're going to go insolvent. And as this happens, what are they going to do? They're going to push off their losses to the general public to pay more and more and more. And if their costs are going to continue to rise, then what are they going to do? They're going to push it to you. Even if their costs aren't rising, maybe let's just say hypothetically they're just staying the same. Hypothetically, they're still going to just jack up rates, because if they have less competitors out in the market, they're going to take advantage of that. If there's 1,000 insurance companies in one state issuing insurance policies, obviously they're going to be more competitive on price, on terms. They're going to try to work with you, try to win your business. But if there's only 50 insurance companies, there's only 100, then they have the control. The reason for it is because you can't own a property anywhere in the nation, any single family home, unless you have insurance, unless you have it paid off. Because mortgage companies want to make sure that that mortgage is going to be insured and protected in the event of a fire, any type of catastrophe, any type of problem. They want you to have that insurance. So if you can't afford the insurance, then that's going to become a problem. And that is what I think we're stepping into next, is going to be this insurance problem. It's not just going to be in places like California and Florida. It's going to be all throughout these pockets. FEMA put this map out about a year ago saying this is where it's going to happen. Think about it. Idaho, Colorado, Texas. This is basically where everyone, Tennessee, all these markets saw such a massive swing in property values. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch. What do you think about this entire situation? Do you believe, like myself, that what we're going to start to see is a roll-up of insurance companies and property insurance to go through the roof? What I would actually speculate on is that they're going to start to say, hey, you know what, if you have certain energy upgrades, if you have certain standards that are on your property, maybe you have solar, maybe you have certain protections on your property, because they're pushing these clean energy upgrades, then maybe you get a discounted rate. Maybe you can get some type of subsidized insurance. Maybe there's some type of benefit. But I think that's what they're going to be starting to push forward on. I think there's going to be much more stringent requirements for property insurance. What do you think? Drop it below, hit the like button, subscribe here and on my second channel, and add me on Instagram for other content I won't post here for short form content. And again, if you want to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at greatcreditfast.com. That's greatcreditfast.com. You can go there, schedule a free call, and we look forward to helping you. Catch you guys in the next video.